Well, joining us now at 4 on the phone to talk about the impact of this storm, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us today.
Governor, you got out ahead of this storm in declaring a state of emergency. Can you give us an idea of what's been implemented? What's working right now with that state of emergency?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We were just asking about the declaration of the emergency this week. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about and what that means for the state?
Well, the state of emergency is important because once I do that, that means now extra state troopers are deployed. We actually have the National Guard at our disposal. But most importantly, we get to raise the limits. We take all the weight limits off the road so we can deploy all the heavy equipment. Because when you load down the salters and the dump trucks and the plows with the salt, these trucks become very heavy. And a lot of roads they can't go on. Once I declare the state of emergency, all weight restrictions are lifted. So that's why it's critical. And as you know, it is absolutely critical for us to pre-treat early before any weather occurrence happens. And once you lay down the calcium chloride and the salt brine, you do that before the incident starts, you're so much better off. And that's what our team did. They did a magnificent job. The state police responded to about 4,500 calls. We had about 1,500 accidents. Unfortunately, 4 fatalities in the Commonwealth. But I will say this, our VDOT team did a magnificent job. We are now off the interstates. Secondary and neighborhoods are what are now being cleared, and we feel very comfortable. We're going to have everybody up and running. We will have probably a little snow event in the Hampton Roads region, maybe half to an inch, and we've got our teams down there right now deploying the pre-treatment.
Now, Governor, this is the second day now with no school and a lot of folks not being able to get to work. And when some folks don't work, they don't make any money. So their main concern tonight is when will all of those secondary roads be cleared so that they can get back to the business of making money for their families?
And let me tell you this, I want everybody back to work as well. I want all that economic activity happening. So VDOT crews began doing all secondary roads last night in every county in the Commonwealth. So they're already being worked on. All primary roads are now clear. Secondary roads are being done. By the end of today, we'll have all those secondary roads done. The HOV gates are being cleaned for outbound traffic from the Naval Station, Norfolk, and the reversible lane switch should take place this afternoon as I promised and as scheduled. So everything's being done, and by the end of tonight, we should have everybody up, out, moving, barring, as I say, any more snow events. But we're on top of this thing, and as I say, we deployed 12,000 pieces of equipment, and 2,500 personnel were operating that equipment throughout the Commonwealth.
And Governor McAuliffe, obviously that kind of response takes a lot of funding. Can you just talk about the finances where it comes to a response like this? Yeah,
and you're looking, it's expensive. We had about close to $55 million in our snow budget. I won't get the final numbers back in, but we probably could have, half of that budget could have been used on Monday and Tuesday dealing with that snow event. So you're possibly looking at upwards of $75 million for the storm that we just had.
Wow.
Wow, it's right.
And while we're still dealing with the snow, we are getting ready for that wave of extremely cold weather. How is the state ready to respond to folks who might need a little extra help in the extreme frigid temperatures?
Well, and that's a great point. And we have been in contact with all the localities to find out how our homeless shelters are doing, to make sure with these extreme colds that nobody is on the streets. We're actually working with all our law enforcement agency. I talked to General Tim Williams, our TAG, our National Guard General, today about the use of if we need folks in the Guard to help folks. Right now, as the reports have come back to me, all the localities have said they're fine, they're on top of the situation, they don't need any extra assistance, but it is going to be frigid, which is going to create a lot of black ice, which is very, very dangerous. We're treating as many roads as we can. The good news, we had plenty of materials. We had about 500,000 tons of salt and about 500,000 gallons of calcium chloride. So we have the materials to get on the roads, and we are putting that on all the roads in the Commonwealth as fast as we can.
Governor Terry McAuliffe, thank you so much for calling in to talk to us today about the impact of the storm and also the state's response. We appreciate it.
Be safe.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.